Nope. All right, traders. Happy Good Friday, guys. Excited to be here with the veteran trader, the mystery trader himself, Kayvon Trades. Kayvon, you've been around, you were telling me, for 20 years trading experience. I know you're more of a contrarian trader now, but have you always been that way?
No, I don't think most people start off contrarian. I think they slowly learn to realize they keep buying the top.
So you started out
And,
buying the top like everybody else, huh?
I can't honestly remember how I started, but, it was like, this thing's breaking out. I'll just buy it on a dip and then it'll go back to new highs. And, sometimes it does and sometimes it doesn't.
Were you assessing risk a lot back then? No.
Uh, Basically, it's difficult to assess risk when you have a small account. If you if you treat it the way it's supposed to be treated, it's not as exciting
Right.
because like a 2% loss on $1,000 account is $20. So typically, you're gonna risk more.
Yeah, that's
Um,
that's very challenging with a small account. I know you trade now with up and over a $25,000 account. Do you find that gives you a little bit more cushion and leeway and than trading with $1,000 account?
so the way I treat it is, even though I'm over PDT, it's not money that I'm willing to risk. It's it's just the money that I put in over 25,000. So in a way, I'm still trying to be somewhat conservative,
Mm-hmm.
and it's basically just bypassing the PDT rule because I could open an offshore account with, let's say a few grand, um, but the commissions can eat you up.
Yeah, so you're an IB, right?
Yeah.
IB. And what's the
Um,
commission structure there?
they do. There's two different ways you could do it, but
Fixed and tier.
yeah. It, Once you start getting to a certain size, it's better to go fixed because then
Uh-huh.
like the ECNs are all factored in, and then. But I think right now I'm still tiered, and it usually comes out to like 30 cents or 30 to 50 cents per entry,
Yeah, that's not
which
bad. That's not bad. For
yeah, it's
what
not
kind of size
terrible.
trades, 30 or 40, 50 cents?
I think that's a minimum of 100. So like even if I hit it
Okay.
with 20 shares, I'll probably still get 30 cents.
Okay.
Um, and then if I go 200 shares, it'd probably be 60 cents. Like every 100 shares, it's gonna go up 30 cents.
So, for those that have been in the chat in the morning for the live streams, they've seen you post and they know, okay, if they looked at the charts that you're trading, you'll mention a ticker and you'll look at it and you're looking for a long and it's kind of bottoming out, or a short is like, you see the ramp up in volume. Can you speak on like a few of the different criterias you're looking for? I know you're with the contrarian style that you're trading. What are like three or four different things you're looking for indicators for your entry?
So main the main few are it can't be linear. So stock could be up 20, 30, 40, 50%, but that trend is pretty linear. It's once you get that ramp where things start to truly speed up, and you will
Mm-hmm.
see, if you have moving averages in place, you will see that pulling away from those moving averages. So you want it away from being linear.
Well, let's
Um,
dive
and you
deeper
want
than
that,
that. Like, why do you not want it linear? Why do you want an increase of volume and getting that euphoric reaction?
yeah. So like, then the second thing would be the volume, I typically look on the 5 minute. I want those volume bars every 5 minutes to be getting bigger and bigger and bigger as you get that ramp up, because that's signaling that people are fighting over the price. There's a lot of extreme emotions going on. versus when you see a normal uptrend, the volume's a little bit more normal. So like the volume is super important because you're seeing that fight.
Yeah,
Um,
I would agree.
the
It's
I
funny that
like
you just go ahead.
sorry, I like multiple 15-minute candles in a row,
Okay.
like at least three 15-minute candles. 'Cause that's a good sign. I think I can't remember the exact thing, but stocks like to move in threes. Um, three 15-minute candles in a row is ideal. So I try not to trade for the first 45 minutes because you can get a gap up or you can get something ripping at the open or dumping at the open, and they might have a quick reversal. And sometimes I will trade them, but I feel like there's more edge in letting them squeeze out for a longer amount of time.
Getting the
Um,
emotions, getting those that are buying high and hoping higher. That's kind of what you're looking for.
yeah,
It's funny, like listening to the contrast between when you started out, like in looking for that euphoric move, but trying to buy the dip, and we all do that. That's what's so not very unique amongst traders is the fear of missing out. I know we've gone over those fears in trading a lot, but the longer we trade, just like you, the more we gravitate towards taking advantage. I mean, honestly, it's sad to say, but taking advantage of people's emotions because emotions drive a lot of the market. Would you agree with that?
yeah, absolutely. And that's one of the things with counter trend trading is you can actually see it happening.
Mm-hmm.
Timing it is a whole nother story, and getting the right entries, but you could see the emotion play out, and you typically, I'm not going to say you know it's going to happen, but you can typically predict there's going to be some type of reversal. Now, I'm not saying I nail them every time. They're very hard to time, and you have to scale correctly because
Okay.
sizing's very
Yes,
important.
that's a big question I have. Coin, can you hear us all right, by the way? I know you're in here. Um, Nailing the top. So we're going to look at some of your charts here in a little bit. I really wanted to ask you, I'm curious about your positioning. Like, are you trying with your signal? Are you attempting to nail the top, or are you starting them early and actually anticipating a larger emotional move? Can you speak on that?
So last year, I tried to I tried to nail the top right on the backside. As soon as I see that reversal starting to happen, I tried to hit it with a decent amount of size. And then my stop would be like, let's say I'm shorting it, it just starts to drop a little bit on the 1 minute. I hit it. My stop would be just right through new highs. I'm trying to nail that top. But I did get chopped up doing that. And my strategy was, well, I'll just look for another go and I'll hit it again. And many times I would hit it again and I would make back my losses. And I had an issue with wash sales last year. I did my taxes this year and I had a big issue with wash sales. I didn't realize I was doing it that much. So now this year I'm trying to be in a little smaller on my first entry. And if I'm right, I'm right. I lock it in. It's not as much
Make
as I
some money.
want it to be,
Yeah.
but it wasn't stressful. And if I'm wrong, I'll continue to watch it. I'll let it go against me a little bit and look for possibly another ad. That gives me a little leeway if I'm not getting the top
Mhm.
exactly or the bottom. So that would just be me. I have to just realize can't add in too many times. That means I'm obviously
You
too
said
early.
something that struck me. You said, if I'm wrong. And I've struggled with this. And I know you probably know where I'm going with this. Do you think that mindset can be dangerous? Thinking you're wrong
The
versus just the
top,
trade not working out.
if you're wrong, that mindset.
Yeah, so
Um,
as
I
in
get what you're
taking it
saying.
emotionally, like I struggle with it so much too. Like from moving on. That's why I try to like strictly focus on not marrying tickers every single morning. I've just found that that mindset for me is so dangerous. I don't know if it is for other traders, but just taking it, I guess, a little more personal than it should be. I saw this quote today, and it just rung home with me. It said, every trader is going to take losses. That's not, I guess, what's so important to focus on. But every trader does not have to. What we do have control over large losses. We don't have to take large losses. And so that in times past has been a struggle for me. I've like married tickers, I've blown up, I've taken it personal, and so I was curious for you. What are some of like your biggest over your 20 years? Like, speak on a few different things. Like what has been one of your biggest hurdles in trading, and then what's been one thing that you've overcome that you're actually very satisfied with that you're doing right now in your trading.
Oh, as far as overcoming, I finally feel like I have a strategy in place that is profitable. I used to, Twitter can be very dangerous if you're comparing yourself to people. And I used to see investors live just crushing the top.
Mm-hmm.
And I even was in his chat, and I just thought I could trade like him. And I was just shorting Euphoria, but in reality, it wasn't Euphoria. There was still a lot more to go, or like I didn't have a system in place to actually see it. So I feel like I finally am able to see them better. Um, but my main struggle is my discipline. Um, I do have trouble fighting them sometimes. 'Cause, that need to be right. That I need a 90% win rate or whatever it is. I get caught in squeezes sometimes, and I know it's happening. But I have trouble like cutting it, and then I'll take a big loss that wipes out multiple days. That's where I struggle with the counter trends is just letting, just not moving on.
Huh.
Um,
Yeah, thank you for being vulnerable and sharing that, as well as the success you've had. I mean, we've talked about your edge, and trading that you take your signals very disciplined. So that's something positive I've really seen in your trading. And then some of the charts, yeah, I mean, like you just said, can fight some of them, not just taking the L and moving on. But typically, like, how do you? And you don't really like revenge or overtrade, do you much? I mean, you hardly
I
take
have my
like,
days.
yeah.
Um, I know exactly what I'm looking for and what I should be doing. The
Mm-hmm.
question is, am I going to do it? And sometimes I do it pretty well, but other days, typically I try not to put a trade on for at least the first half hour. Other days I find myself in a trade within the first 2 minutes. It's like, what are you doing? This
Yeah,
isn't your strategy. So like, my issue is me. It's not.
not the signals. Yeah, not the
It's
edge.
not the signal. It's like sometimes I'll put a max loss on a trade, and then right when it gets to that, you cancel it. Like we've all done that. You pull your stop off, or
So do you think you
because I've
focused a
I've
little
found
too much
myself.
on win rate? You said you want like a 90% win rate. Are you still of that mindset? Like, I'm desiring a high win rate?
I don't really keep track of it because I don't have a program,
Mm-hmm.
and I do know that you could make millions with a 50% win rate. So no, I don't care
Mm-hmm.
about that at all. If I could just know when I'm wrong and accept it, sky's the limit. That's where I've been struggling for
I
the
think
last
so too.
5 years.
I think so too.
Um,
That's been an issue for
People,
me too, but it really hasn't been now that I've been putting the guardrails up and just understanding it's an uphill battle for me, don't create like downhill habits. And what I'll do is I literally just throw the stop order on it right when I get in. But that's because I'm getting in mainly single entries, and that's not part of your strategy. So that it gets a little confusing, I guess, because you're not necessarily attempting to hit the top of it or bottom.
It, I want to be able to hit it at the top with max size. It's just the stupid wash sale. If I was to hit it and think it was the top and have more size on, and if I just take the quick stop out, I can't trade it again. Because you're going to end up paying taxes on money you didn't make with the wash sale. So if I was to hit it with max size, I would just have to accept the stop out and move on. Versus my newer, what I'm leaning towards is go on a little smaller with room to add. And if it goes, it goes. It's a tricky situation. If I didn't have the wash sale, which is possible, you can do that. You have to contact the IRS. If I didn't have the wash sale, I would probably try to hit it with more size, and then if I get stopped out, look to hit it again. So I just been battling with the whole wash sale situation.
Yeah, I know. Last year that really messed you up. I have another question about as far as your edge goes. I know you're looking at the volume and the candlesticks and whatnot. I've never asked you this. Do you consider like news at all, fundamentals at all, but in a ticker? Because I know you've probably heard me like I'll say this ticker is on earnings. Like I don't, earnings typically holds up a little more than others. What is your strategy there?
Absolutely. So ticker pops up. First thing I do is if I see if it has news, that plays a factor. And then another thing is if it's something squeezing, I pull up its short float, and if it has any type of higher short float, I don't want.
What's higher for you?
Like even though what's high?
Yeah, what's high for you?
Invis kind of highlights it when it's high, but it's like 10 to 15%.
Okay.
Is pretty high. So there still could be a little reversal there, but at the same time, it could start ripping your face off if the shorts are really
yeah.
News and short float is about it, and then also the sentiment of the market. So I always have the SPY up simultaneously because I'm typically trading medium, large float stuff. If the SPY looks like it's just an all-day grinder type day, up, or down, sometimes the reversals are a little harder. Or if the SPY, when you're at risk of these tariff announcements, you could be in something, and all of a sudden the SPY does something, and it makes you super green or it makes you super red. And
at the mercy
that
of
kind of sucks.
The headlines, lately.
So with the penny stocks, you don't typically have to worry about that, but my price range that I seem to do well at is around $100 stocks. I don't know if it's me, and I could do quick math, and it's like, I can make $2 a share, I'll do 200 shares. Like, it's really quick, versus you accidentally do 2,000 shares of a $4 stock, and the thing, it starts ripping your face off, and you lose $2,000. Like, that's happened, and I just don't want to deal with that stuff. So,
well, speaking about that happening, I didn't tell you I was going to ask you this, so don't answer if you don't want to. But what's the biggest loss you've taken, and what did it teach you?
I typically have death by 1,000 cuts. So
that's fine. Okay.
Like, let's say I had a Sure Trader account for $3,000 or $5,000. I never blew them up in one day. It was more like lost 1,000, went on tilt, probably lost 1,000 the next day. Maybe made some back. Just the slow bleed. I don't know personally.
So no real huge losses, but a lot of
maybe $2,000 recent, like last year, maybe a $2,000 loss.
Well, that's not too bad.
I'm only slightly above PDT, so that's a lot.
Yeah.
Because if I drop down below 25K, I can't trade. So like,
So you make certain of that. Yeah, that's not too bad. I mean, yeah, I remember going offshore for the first time and having the freedom of expression on my account. I was like, I did so well under PDT. Then I went offshore and I was like, oh my God, there's so much freedom. Like, I was just clicking every button on my computer I could. And yeah, I remember the one ticker. I saw the pattern and I thought patterns ruled everything. But the longer I've traded, and I think we both would um, agree with this, because you mentioned earlier it's all more in the brain than in the technicals. Like, yeah, the longer you trade, the more you realize that you could have a great setup, but it's not a guarantee. And so I put guarantees on things back in the day, and have been focusing more now these days after you've pretty much seen everything. There's not much we really haven't seen after so many years of doing this, but there's so many out there that was like, I remember when I was just 1 year in, 2 year in, and everyone out there would be like, dude, you're gonna make it, at the 4 year mark, at the 5 year mark, at the 6 year mark, like you're gonna make it. I've always said you never make it, you're always making it. What do you think about that? Do you think that is true? You never really make it. I mean, 20 years of experience, like, I've just seen so many that even with so many years of experience, they define the whole trading career by one trade and blow it all up very quickly. Like, every day, every trade, you have to be on your toes. What do you think?
yeah, I think that you nailed it right on the head because you still have to think you're untouchable, and you could easily screw things up. No matter how big your account is, no
Mm.
matter how much money you made, it's very easy to mess things up.
Mm-hmm.
So even the big boys,
Mm-hmm.
they have to maintain those skills throughout their whole career.
I've heard it, dude. Even
You
like the
start,
big chat rooms, though, I've heard many stories of them like in the background messaging each other. Just the moderators, like, dude, I'm way underwater on this one trade, and it blows them
yeah,
up. They get auto liquidated, that kind of a thing.
you start to see things clearer though, like with experience. There's the saying like 10,000 hours to develop. What
Right.
is it like to develop a skill? Um, I haven't been trading for 20 years straight, even though that sounds great, but it's many years of struggling, blowing up an account, then I take a break, and I try it again. But like those hours start to add up, and then you maybe within the last 8 to 10 years is when I finally start to felt confident. But then for these last 8 to 10 years, it wasn't a confidence. It wasn't an issue with the trading. It was an issue with me.
I know,
How
dude.
like
Like, you cannot operate out of a basis of fear. I try to say that a lot. It reminds me of this example that I read recently. It was like, think of football and think of this field goal kicker. He's got to take the winning shot. And what does the opposing coach always do? Like, they always call a timeout. And why is that? Well, because for those that, like you said, have all this experience over time, muscle memory takes over. And the kicker knows what, I mean, they don't have to think about it. They're not worrying. They're not operating out of the basis of fear. They're operating out of muscle memory. And so the opposing coach always calls that timeout right before he's about to take the kick. Why is that? Well, because he wants doubt to creep in. Once doubt creeps in, it's over. I mean, it can be over, right? Because that's emotions coming in and taking over. So you have to be like, confidence is a huge part of it, like you said, and part of that is like
right.
you mentioned, 10,000 hours of experience. The experience is your best teacher. And so that is going to play a factor because you do have to trade without fear. That's what separates like a lot of the best traders from anyone, is just operating not out of a basis of fear. You have a distinct lack of fear of really making a mistake. The best traders
Yeah.
have a lack of fear of making a mistake because they trust themselves to for their own best interest in their accounts, and
Yeah.
that's
When I
difficult.
when I
You go ahead.
when I see something looking ideal, I have no problem, and I mark it in. Like I'm not looking for a limit order to save. X amount. Like when I see it forming, mark it in, no questions asked. Like I don't even think twice.
Thank you. You're speaking to me.
Um,
Shooting shots at me. I always have to limit it.
I
Even
limit
the
out sometimes. Like
yeah.
on the ones from Wednesday was Thursday yesterday. On that one that faded at the day, I started putting a bunch of limit orders and it was starting to hit them. I'll limit out like that, but sometimes it's just like I just want to take it, mark it. I don't care.
Yeah, the point spread hurts a lot. Market ordering into that.
On some of them.
That was Netflix to my recollection. Netflix. I mean, that would have worked out. So what you're saying is true, but it just like emotionally, I don't know, man. That hurts. Like getting in the.
Did you save that?
Yes, I
Did you
have
save that
the Netflix chart. Yeah, if you want to take a look at it.
Oh,
Let's take a look. I'll pull it up.
Though, on spready stock, you're not gonna get hit on the ass unless it goes up higher. Like.
All right, let's pull up Netflix and you tell me.
I'm trying to hit the backside, so like, there's no way I'm gonna get hit on the ass.
The backside
so
boys.
I just mark it
All right, Netflix.
What?
Yeah, nothing.
What is going on here?
We're always
Gonna...
we're the backside boys up in the green team. I don't know. We're always like, dude, I could speak for so long on front side trading, but it's not so fun. I'm sure you agree with that. But I mean, sometimes it can be very profitable, but it can be tough too. So guys in chat, let us know if you can see everything properly. I got the Netflix chart up. That this is Kayvon's trade from this past week, but I want to make sure you guys can see everything appropriately. So speak on this. You have 2 entries. If you guys follow my cursor, you have got in some. Were you planning on this being multiple entries? You got in a partial and then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, obviously $1,000 stock. I'm not even comfortable with that with the range that this thing had.
Mm-hmm.
And you know 1,000 is going to be a magnet, and I'm pretty sure they had earnings and they blew through 1,000 the other day. But it was small. Because it might have been my first trade of the day. I'm not looking to dig a deep hole. So I think I put an entry on, and then it squeezed me a little bit, and then I had a decent average, and it worked out.
Yeah, then you got the sloppy seconds pop right here. That was beautiful. You hit it. Were you out all on these 2 green triangles?
I can't remember.
Okay.
I think can't remember. But then yeah, I hit the pop for the sloppy second, and then I got out. And I had a feeling it was going to hold, and sure enough, midday, it made an attempt to go high day at 1 o'clock.
Yeah.
So it never really put in a true reversal. Like sometimes
Okay.
I know you're looking for those green to red moves, or like.
Yeah, but they don't necessarily happen on like the Netflixes of the world, you know.
They don't typically happen with most large caps, especially if like the SPY is trending up.
Right. I've seen them with those mid caps, like $10 to $20. Like I do see them quite often, but yeah, the large caps, like you're saying, they'll find their feet eventually.
They're all different. I've tried leaving trades on longer, and it does work sometimes. But when you do pull up my shitty Thursday trade,
yeah, let's pull it up.
I left some on for a bigger move, and then it started squeezing me, and I added.
I'm guessing this is the shitty one. I see like a whole Christmas tree over here.
The folder, or
yeah, FIS. FIS, is that the bad one? It looks like it.
It was both of those were the ones I battled.
Yeah.
This one, I got 2 stories. So this one, I scaled into it, and basically my last ad was like, okay, if it keeps going, I'm gonna stop out. But it worked. I took the quick cover.
And then you forgot about the stop out on the back end of this.
I took the quick cover.
You're like disregard.
The tape felt strong. The tape felt squeezy, and I was just like, it does not want to drop.
You were
So I
hitting it
got out
strong.
completely right.
Okay.
I got out completely right. Then, in the middle of the day, I was
Yeah.
like, I'll try a sloppy second. And it actually worked for the first couple minutes, but
I see those couple minutes. Yep.
it started squeezing me. I stopped out. Then I started dicking around with it, adding. And, you know, that was a pain in the butt.
Oh, Kayvon, this is like, oh, if you
That's not
could
my strategy,
nip
though.
this in the butt, like, there's no, there. I
That's
mean,
me fighting my
it's
strategy.
your
That
P&L
didn't
goes
put in
like
a
this.
second.
Choo, choo, choo.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
know.
your P&L goes like
That didn't
that.
put in a euphoric move. I mean, it did put in a little bit of a squeeze, but it was super strong.
Yeah.
So that was just me being stupid, not being happy with what I made. Because what I made on that first trade in the morning wasn't much. So I just decided to screw with it again.
Yeah.
And it,
Screw around and find out.
yeah. But then if you pull up the other one from yesterday, that one I didn't get out completely. It was the,
This is a long. I was trying to find the triangle. CRL right here.
oh,
Good.
see, that wasn't yesterday.
Good job. You held that
Yes,
for a good while.
yesterday was, CRL was Monday.
Okay. Yesterday. Futu?
Yesterday was, no, I thought it was BLDR, no?
I might not have downloaded
Or
that
no,
one.
ABB.
Oh,
ABBV
ABBV.
was
I got that one. There we go.
ABB was yesterday. And I'll let you pull it up. So
Yep.
what I did here, in both of these I shorted early, which I don't typically do. So I hit this one at the open. I covered half on that dip. Yeah.
So why were your ads so close here? Question.
Those 4 ads?
Well, maybe they're not. I'm trying to look at the pricing. 173, 173, 75.
I think I'm seeing something on the tape.
Yeah, it's
I
going
hit it.
sideways. It's kind of going sideways a little bit. But so what? Let me just ask: was stop like high a day here? Since you have 4 ads, just curious. Since you were starting to accumulate some size.
The stop is like, okay, how much do I want to lose? It's not really like,
Okay.
you know, it's all relative to like, what type of loss do I want to take?
Gotcha.
This one probably would have been like, okay, just stop out. It's the beginning of the day.
Yeah.
But I was seeing something in the tape, so I hit it. And those 4 entries probably got to maybe half my max size. Like, I still had room, but like, I don't want to just keep adding and adding and adding. I want to try and get the backside, but it dipped down pretty decently. I didn't get the bottom, but I took out half.
Yeah.
And I was like, I'll wait for a little bit more. It's under VWAP. Who knows? The market might start fading.
Trading the guarantee.
But pops, and I'm like, oh, I guess I'll add back into my full size.
Yeah.
And it teases me, and it fades back down to VWAP.
These charts are the worst. I hate these. I hate these so much. You remember that day I was like, I am never adding when I'm like half size in because this is so annoying when you've already profited.
It's hurt my average far more many times than helped me, I feel like.
You think so?
Dude, okay, let's say your average is 174, you cover half, and you add back in, your average is 173.20. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, it's a tough one.
It can help. If you can be on the right side of a trending stock, then adding in will obviously work. But when you're fighting the trend, they don't always reverse.
So in retrospect, I mean, okay, if you follow my cursor, you hit it a couple times here.
I can't see your cursor.
Oh. Well. Oh, yeah, nobody sees. Can you guys see my cursor? Okay, so what was the plan after you got back in it on the sloppy seconds over VWAP? Go from there.
It was basically, okay, it didn't break high a day.
Yeah.
One of them was an ad before, and then it peaked, and then it looked like it was dropping, so I put another ad on. And then I was like, okay, this is going to be a good ad. And it kind of was for 10 minutes. But then you could see it start ripping at 12 o'clock. And I added, and then I stopped out. And then my discipline was like, I'm getting right back in. So I shorted it again near the high there.
And the problem is when these things do work out so beautifully like this, and then you just always are adding.
Yeah, like, even though this worked out end of the day, like, I ended up making my losses from the other one back. This wasn't a great setup. I shouldn't even have been. I should have been done with it in the morning and moved on. So, yeah, I got lucky because if this would have went high a day and I would have stopped out, it would have taken a pretty good loss. So, not proud of yesterday. That was my worst day of the week. But the week has been just super slow.
Yeah, slow with
everybody. You're just sitting here waiting for stuff, and it's not coming, which is dangerous because you might try and make things happen.
Right, forcing the issue, forcing the issue. All right, we've speaked on some adversities, so I don't want to keep pressing that. What do you think? When you look back over the last 20 years, was there an aha moment in your trading journey? Like some moment or some timeline or something that clicked with you? Maybe a blow up. You're like, I can't do this anymore. And you've kind of stayed true to that. Some aha moment in your own personal past chart history.
I don't know. Be honest.
Or do you think it's a slow progression that's kind of got you here?
For me, it's just been that battle. I never really had I think I just got better and better at. Now I read level 2 and stuff. I know you don't, but like I think it's just time. It's time staring at the charts.
But then now, after so many years, now it's trying to figure out the brain.
Yeah, and I've always had that issue.
You think we need some kind of Neuralink that'll fix our...
I've had an issue taking it serious. $1,000 account offshore back in the day. It is what I'll see if I could turn it into 10 grand. And gamble it. Just do stupid stuff.
Yeah.
And you're not really learning a lot in those types of accounts, and you have to treat it serious.
Mm-hmm.
I for a short period worked at a prop firm downtown, and they started beginner traders off with a max size of 5 shares. So that's your max size. So typically you're not going to take max size. You might take 1 or 2 shares. And
wow,
I believe it was only about like $2,000 worth of buying power,
dude,
which was plenty.
I will say, like, getting in with like 50 to 100 shares helps. I don't know. There is something to it. Like, it does help me like think way more objectively. Getting in with a share size that you don't care about, I guess, when there's like nearly no emotions attached to it, I see things way clearer.
And that's the thing that new traders need to figure out. The quicker they figure it out, the better. Is you have to be trading a size that does not affect you. I'll make more money trading half as small sometimes.
Yes, because you let them work longer, you stop out easier. I mean, you just see things way better, right?
Yeah. Whatever issues I have, it works for me. So, like, let's say I'm not honoring a stop. Luckily, I'm not trading as big. I'll eventually stop out, but it could have been twice as big with my discipline issues. So, you need to figure out what works for you. But smaller size, you could actually make more money because you're being less emotional
That's such a good
towards the
point.
trade.
I've recognized that too very often because I get in bigger size, and then what happens is I'll I'll take I'll take more off than I should. You probably know where I'm going with that.
Yeah,
I'll be in
right.
versus 100. I might be in 4 or 500, and when I see more green, I'm like, I gotta take some of this off. I just don't see it for the reality that we're in. Like longs are trapped here. It's set to unwind. We're going red on the day. I don't see. There's so much truth in what you said. Like when the lower size, the more, I guess, impartiality you
Yeah,
show.
it definitely can help. Um, and and what can make a really good trader is like knowing when to press size. There could be times when you have that A plus setup.
Like adding to
That's
a
when you
winner,
should be
scaling
putting.
into a winner.
Yeah, that's when you should be putting risk on when
Very,
something is.
very hard to do.
Yeah, easier said than done though.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, that's a tough one. Like scaling
it's
into the winner is so tough for me. I'm trying to do it more. Like if I get that elevator down move and I know longs are trapped, I'll do it. But bringing the average down, it hurts. Why is it so comfortable to like screw? I mean, you're bringing. Why is it so much more comfortable to add to a loser? Well, you're bringing your size up, so that's why it's more comfortable. Like you're getting a better average on the ticker.
yeah,
That's why it's more comfortable, but it shouldn't be that way. There's so many things that should be, I guess, polar opposite in our
yeah.
emotions.
That is a funny question because it's like, oh, I'll just add some more. No, I'll just add some more. But then they start working for you, and you're like, I don't want to add anymore because
Yeah,
I'm in the money. I
you're in
don't
the
want to hurt my average, and
yeah.
which it has happened to me. Like I've tried adding in, and it doesn't work. But for
Sometimes it
certain
does
ones,
so.
it can work.
And yeah, I've seen some professional trader like their charts. Some of these guys, their charts highly respect it. Like I'll see them, they hit it up here, it goes down, it bounces up. Rather than like taking profits in that first drop, they're like sizing in to the next pop. So
Yeah,
they're truly aware and confident in this approach that the top is set, and they're just sizing into the pops along with other shorts. And rather than taking profits quick, they're working these winners. See them as winning trades, and they're working them rather than doubting their system. We touched on doubt, how it can really mess you up, and the operating out of a basis of fear. Yeah,
I I I do think you can have more conviction on a reversal the bigger time frame that thing has been extended. Like I don't know if it was Monday or I think Monday when you traded. Uh, that was a day one gap up on that one, and like I was a little cautious for you because yeah, it could have a little bit of a reversal, but that's a day one gap up. Typically, these low flow penny stocks they like a few days, 2 3 days of squeezing. Then I think that's where the professional traders are sizing in is like, okay, this is a day three gap up, hyper extension, parabolic move. They short it and they add on pops because
I
it's been
honestly
squeezing for
like.
3 days.
I'm gonna throw this in there for the new guys because it's fresh on the brain right now. But bouncing off of what you just said, what I've noticed with shorts, some of the really nice shorts out there. I mean, it could be day one, two, or three, but one thing that really matters is where is the momentum. If this is the ticker that all eyes are on, it's going to be heavily overcrowded, way manipulated with algos, chat rooms, whatever, everything out there. But if you're in this and then all eyes are on the shitty IPOs that you're looking at, you've been
I
all
lost 20 bucks.
you've
I
been
lost
all on
20
these
bucks on one yesterday.
IPOs. You've been learning every single one of them the last couple weeks. But all I'm saying is, all eyes are on whatever play out there, what was it, like MLGO something? It's going from 5 to 50, 100. Webull, that BULL was doing that. If all eyes are on that play, you have a higher rate of success with your little penny play. That like the momentum is shifting, volume is fading. Take a look at the volume chart and see a little downtick in the volume. Volume's fading. There's less. It's just mostly like longs now that are trapped and that are going to unwind their positions. Newer traders that we discussed, ourselves included, started out buying dips, hoping and praying for rips, and they don't happen. But unfortunately, we had no risk set. So now we're long-term investors in this company. We're just getting completely diluted. Throw your 230 million share offering at us. Well, you don't care. We're gonna size into it.
I might have an account somewhere with some penny stock that I'm a bag holder on. I could be a multimillionaire and I don't even know it.
Yes, we've.
I should probably try and see if SureTrader still exists and log in.
I don't think you're gonna find luck there.
Yeah.
But yes, I believe you that you're long in something. I mean, you probably have been auto liquidated at this point.
I'm not.
That's how so many longs are, and I think that's why so many of us gravitate towards shorting over time, because you love the elevator down. Stairs up are awful, and plus longs, they're just the four fears we go over. The fear of missing out is nearly the strongest. It's the most potent. Would you agree with that? That fear, especially with newer traders, it's very potent, and they don't think about risk. They think about, oh, if I don't get involved with this right now, right this second, if I don't get involved with this, I mean, I'm not going to be a millionaire. I got to just jump in.
Alright, I was pouring my beer.
All right. Well, while you're doing that, I gotta pour something out too. So, you just ramble on off of that for just a second. I'll be back in 10 seconds.
In chat,
Sorry. You're back. Keep going. I'm muted because yeah. Go ahead.
Coin's saying my mic is muted.
I muted my mic because I was hitting the head. You go ahead. I'm listening.
Oh.
Sorry, Coin.
It must have muted me too. Dude, I just spit the most insane facts, and I don't remember what I said. No. Only Kevin heard it.
No, I didn't.
He was saying it. Coin was saying, like...
why go against the trend?
Right. Yeah, it's like something about ego and like just to be right. And I get what he's saying, because it does feel good to be right and nail a reversal. But I was saying, like, it's so hard to join a trend. You could see something trending down all day, and I just can't join that short. I don't know, because I've tried it too many times and it reverses. I can visually see on a chart when it's due for a reversal, so that's my edge, and that's what I'm going to try and focus on mastering. It's just so hard to join it.
Yeah, I mean,
I wish I did. There's so much opportunity there to join it. When a stock goes from 10 to 20 to 30 to 40, it's like, why wasn't I long? But
well, I think it's a good point Coin's bringing up. our strategy, I mean, there's certainly money to be made with the trend, like Coin's saying, and he maybe Coin. It's been a minute, so I don't recall entirely what your edge is. Maybe you can throw it down there. But I mean, all mine is shorting Euphoria at resistance, buying fear at support, and I think the thing with the way the contrarian trader has got to focus on the risk. Like you got to, because yeah, maybe like Coin's saying, sometimes it just keeps going and going and going, squeezes out. But from what I've seen, dude, like the stairs up and down is awful. I hate it so much. Cannot stand it. I love seeing. I've just become, you trade out of a basis of like conviction over time, nearly, when you've seen something time and time and time again. And really pretty much every day this week that I was trading those shorts, the elevator downs, was, and it depends on the ticker, right, Coin? Like, I don't know what we're trading, but a lot of those in the low float penny land are trapping longs. You know, they're trying to, ultimately they're trying to trap them for offerings and whatnot. There's a lot of emotions there, more so than in those more reputable companies. So there's more to it than just that. I mean, there's a lot of factors involved. I don't think you're wrong for more amateur traders that maybe they should just focus on something like that. Like, not saying you're an amateur, but they should focus more on something that you're seeing plain in sight. This is the trend. If it goes against it, get out. If it doesn't, stay in. What are your thoughts on that, Kevin?
Everybody is going to have what works for them, and it can take you years to figure out what your style is. I personally feel that my edge is counter trending, because you could actually see it versus something that's trending. Yeah, you could try joining the dip and then it goes new high a day and you could scalp it. There's plenty of people that do that and make millions of dollars. Doesn't work for me, could work for somebody else. I'm unbiased as far as long or short. I'm 50-50. I don't care what the stock is doing.
Mm-hmm.
They do elevator up sometimes on a bounce, but I get what you're saying with the stairs. I'm not, I'm unbiased either direction.
As far as the long or short.
I need that. Yeah, I just need that move, that overextension.
The human emotions that never change in the market. The emotions. And some of the large cap stuff trades very algorithmic. Now you've seen that, and it's hard to get involved with that because it's, if you're looking for the emotions, like you're looking for the ramp and the volume. But I mean, Coins, as far as never being biased, dude, that's absolutely right. Never be biased at all. Look for the setup over a market context, and if it works, great. If it doesn't, so that's great. That works for you. And there was, dude, in the ISW chat room that I was in, like, they traded, my mentor there, he traded a way that was so profitable for him, but it never was profitable for me. You know, so I would never, like, he was a great trader, but not a great teacher. And
right, and
you
can give a profitable strategy to 1,000 people, and maybe one person might succeed at it. Like,
you have to trade your own philosophy, your own trading conviction. You have to trade. If you're trading somebody else's strategy, it's never going to work because you don't know the ins and outs of it. You don't know the risk. You don't know the reward. Like, your edge not only has to not just be like, where am I getting out at? The other edge of it has to be, where am I taking profits? There's so many dynamics, and if you're trading anybody else's trading philosophy, it's not going to work. This profitable trader who I was trying to trade with, and he saw things way different than I did. You could add forever into something knowing this is a winning trade. But I couldn't do that. I could not do that at all. I would blow up every account because for me, seeing that, it was almost like I was trading I thought he was essentially trading a guarantee because some of these traders have such a high win rate that I thought they pretty much can never take an L. Like I didn't have the risk in mind with it because it was such a high win rate. When most traders do focus way too entirely on the win rate, you can have a 34% win rate and still be a successful trader. I know we've gone over that. If your risk reward is set properly, you have a very small win rate. But yeah, your edge involves your combined experience and time overall in the market, and that's going to be your own trading philosophy. So yeah, I tell the guys too. I mean, I know you trade different than a lot of us, and I trade different too, but you're trading what you see, um,
It's they all have to figure it out themselves. Like every experience level, and like they're just gonna figure it out. They're gonna try and copy you, and it might not work. They're gonna try and copy me, and it might not work. But they might be able to create their own way, what works for them. And yeah, you can literally, you could sit next to a millionaire trader, and he could tell you what to do, and you
you
probably
still
can't do
would
it.
you still couldn't do it.
It,
Yeah,
yeah, that's just how it is.
yeah, because
It's that
you're not operating out of the same mentality that they're operating out of. And maybe not the same account size either. Maybe they have room to hit this a million times. Maybe there's just so many factors involved with it. I think that's one thing that's helped me recently too. I think we just touched on it, but yeah, the sizing down because I am convicted with some of these trades, but the oversizing affects the emotions a little bit. Oversizing base is relative, but oversizing based on the account size, right? Um, that gets emotions involved, especially if you try to stick to that like 2%, 5% rule, where like max loss is pretty much 5% of the account on the day, and then max loss per trade. You know, you don't really want that to be more than 2%. That should be about your winning trade,
yeah.
2%.
But like you set your max loss on your account for $50, which is great. And I've done similar things like that where I know I can make it back in one trade or like easily one day. And that's conservative. Like most people will set their max loss to where they can make it back in like a couple days. So you have a very conservative max loss. The only thing is like if there was opportunity there for you to make it back, you can't do it because you're locked out. But at the same time, like who cares? Like it's not the end of the world. The market will be open tomorrow. Maybe you're on tilt anyway. But
Yeah,
like just move on. So I kind of like it.
I understand. Yeah, I understand both sides of that. It's difficult for me to assess what's right there because that's part of my struggle is understanding when to what that should be. Because remember, like my biggest struggle was in and is getting aggressive with the green days. Like I had so many weeks of turning a red day around, but I my green days I'd take one green trade and be done for the day. Like it irks me even now thinking about it. Like how aggressive I got you got to get aggressive with some of the green days. Why are you not taking the signals still? You'll take them on the red day. So I understand what you're saying. Like, oh, if you're at max loss, like why are you still gonna stop taking your signals? But that should be for me on the account 3 L's in a row. And at that point, if I'm doing the 2%, which is 20, so I would probably be on tilt at that point.
Yeah.
And tilt happens. I mean, the emotions never go away. They haven't for me. Have they for you? I mean, maybe Coin's the only one out here. Coin, you got emotions? I still got emotions. You still got emotions, right? It's
Dude, I would get emotional when in real life for $5 over something stupid. I get pissed off about like $5 here, $3 there. But then I'll be down like $800 in a trade, and I'm just like, I got this. I
it's
got
on.
this. You know,
I got
like,
this.
and I won't go like gamble at a casino for $50, $100, but I'll do it in my trades.
Why is I mean, is it because you trust your system, or you're just on tilt and going for it?
You just gotta send it, man.
You gotta send it.
So, I don't know. Typically, I'll dig myself a hole, not following my strategy or not following my rules, and then I'll get break even by being disciplined. And then you put yourself at break even on the day, and it was a waste of a day, and you're like, if I just follow my rules from the beginning, I'd be green. You know? So there's a whole roller coaster of emotions sometimes. But the great days are when you have one or two trades at the open, or early in the morning. You get a couple good winners, maybe a couple more throughout the afternoon, and then it's like, I'm leaving. Like, I'm not gonna sit here till the close. It's like, I'm not gonna give any back. That's a smooth, stress-free day. And typically, reversals are different at the end of the day. They're completely different after lunch than they are before lunch. And I'm even more scalpy end of day. Because, okay, let's say something's been squeezing all day. And even if it has that ramp up, there's all those people from the last 6 hours looking to try and get out, break even. So as soon as it does reverse, pops right back up. They're all covering to try and get, minimize their losses. So like end of day reversals are a lot different. I'm not typically looking for them. I look for them the following day. If something is hitting my scanners 2:30, or for your East Coast 3:30, or even 4 o'clock right at the bell, if things are hitting my scanners and they didn't reverse, I'm looking for it at the open the following day. And sometimes it works pretty well because people forget about it,
Yeah, I agree with all that. Mr. Keith in the building. Yep, go back and watch it all, Keith. Good to see you in here. Making any deliveries out there? And Coin, I agree with those 3 points. Completely agree. Number 2, definitely my struggle. So if you want to expound upon that, go for it. When is it time to press? So yeah. Earlier this year, I would not press, even when green on the day. I'd be like, I'm taking it and walking away. It's difficult to know like when to press.
Who told you? Who was the person that mentioned that you should probably stick around and be pushing?
My wife.
I thought it was.
Maybe you.
Oh, I thought it was me.
You probably did, and maybe it was a combination of you two. I'll attribute it to you both. I hope you did. I mean, look, I'm going to tell you when I see something that I think you should correct, which I think we both know what that is.
I think that's a good
and I
thing
want you
for
to as well.
Everybody. Like,
yeah.
We should all help each other and be. What do you call that when you're giving somebody, advice that they necessarily don't want to hear?
Yeah, like you called me out on a random trade, which was absolutely correct. We need to call each other out on some stuff. Help keep each other accountable. You were sending your trades all week. I appreciate that.
The one thing that I love on my chart, and it shows me linear versus ramp. It's called linear regression. It's on my charts. It's the blue and red lines. It goes in automatically. It's almost like a VWAP. It's figuring out the averages relative to the prices and stuff. That linear regression, typically when it gets to the upper end of it, like Bollinger Bands in a way, like when it's exceeding or touching the upper end, it's kind of due for a pullback. Doesn't mean it will. It's another factor that I do look for. And because I've tried reversals so many times, and I get into them and I realize this thing's linear. Why am I in this? Not realizing it didn't do the ramp up or the ramp down. So I have to remember to look for that because it hits my scanner. It looks good on the chart, and I hit it, but then I realize, it didn't make that move. I probably shouldn't have put it on.
Which could be those that are buying high, hoping higher, or could be stops, right? The part of that too, where you're looking at this is a zone where a lot of people are getting liquidated, auto liquidated, or just stops coming in. You're just looking for that rampant volume, maybe a mixture of both. which is what I look forward to. I mean, it's the emotions, the fear, the greed. Um, as Mr. Buffett says, I'm fearful when others are greedy, and greedy when others are fearful. I cannot buy something high and hope higher, even if that's part of the trend. I just cannot do that. Um, you can have a tight stop. That's probably what I do. But a lot of times we see those elevator downs, and they are you'll get a ton of slippage on the way down. But once
Yeah.
those are set, man, usually it's as long as underwater, and then you get the fade on, at least in the smaller
You
cap
know,
land.
I've tried the, oh, this thing's ripping, I'm gonna buy it on a dip, and I buy the dip and it keeps dipping. And with my poor risk management, I can ride it all the way.
So,
I ride it all the way back down. So with the way that I see my charts, it actually helps me identify the risk a little bit better, because that's what I struggle with. Um, it would be nice if in the coming weeks we can get some actually good plays. The last 2 weeks have been pretty slow with the tariff stuff. I think we had the initial action from it, but then like now everyone's kind of on pause because nobody wants to put on risk when they're at risk of a tariff news coming out. So I think that's why things have been kind of consolidating, and just kind of indecisive in the market overall. So hopefully something, I don't care if we go up or down. I need us to go one of those ways.
right. You guys are making some good notes there. Constructive criticism, Bob. Yeah. Yeah, and I haven't tried to be too hard on you either, Bob, but I wish somebody would have been when I first started out. Let's just put it that way. Um, it's tough. I mean, it blew up many accounts starting out.
Yeah, it's not fun. And paper trading only works to some extent. It's going to help you kind of learn a little bit, but it's not even half of what you're going to experience, even if you start trading 5 shares. It's
Yeah, and
totally
that's only
different.
like understanding the technicals. Then you have the whole other side of it, the
And you
mental
just have
aspect.
that emotion. It's the emotion of the money. So, like, okay, I was mentioning I worked at that prop firm. When you start there, your max size is 5 shares, and your max loss for the day, I can't remember if it was $12 or $15. So 5 shares is your max. $15 red day, they lock you out. You're done for the day. So like you could be in a trade. Let's say you're in a trade for 2, 3, 4 shares, and you're down like $5, $6. It feels real because you're halfway to your top out. So like even trading that super small size, you get that feeling. Uh, versus paper trading. Dude, I could be green probably every day paper trading. Like it's just totally different versus even trading 5 shares. The thing is, most traders can't trade that small because they don't have a PDT account, or if they're offshore, their fees might be eating up more than what they can even make. If you can only make $5 a day, but your fees are the same, or you got your data fees like $150 a month. It's very difficult to open $1,000 account and trade small and not just bleed the account, because every month they're going to take out your data fees, and if you're trading really small, you're not going to, even though that's what you should be doing. Most traders aren't going to do that because they want to try and at least make enough to cover their data fees. Um, it's the stupid PDT rule. If we could all trade free commission with Schwab or Thinkorswim or something, free commission, no PDT, then you could have all these traders learning how to trade on one
You
ship
also need all the
and
shorts
building.
all you want. I don't know. I mean, for us, the dark side traders, we need all the shorts too,
Yeah.
and the leverage.
There will always be, unless they ban shorting, which some markets do ban shorting. I don't know if it's the Nikkei or what, but not every market they're allowed to short. If they were to ban it, then then you can only long.
I don't think I could trade.
I don't know. You'd still have
Yeah.
you'd probably still have opportunity both ways.
It would be
but
more
it
swing
wouldn't be
trading.
for-
If I could only long, I'd probably focus just mainly like swing trades, things that are way oversold with fear, and I don't know. Longs, so uncomfortable in them. And the reason for that, so many L's, longing things.
I think I'm actually more comfortable in longs because I don't know if it's from my penny stock days, knowing that okay, the most you could lose with a long is as it goes to zero, versus the most you could lose if you're short is infinite. So
Yeah, and I've read
I
some.
think I've actually learned to be more comfortable in longs, whether that's large
Well,
cap
I
or
started out like
whatever.
that too. I mean, okay, so my story is probably very similar to a lot of people. I'm like, okay, I'm very comfortable longing low float penny stocks at the breakout levels. Like that's my comfort. That's my comfort zone. I never thought I'd be comfortable trading like mid to large cap trades. I thought that was just a world on its own. But come to find out, that's where most of the consistency dwells. That's where all most of that relies in the mid to large cap space. You see a lot more consistent patterns developing, that sort of thing. In the low float penny stock world, that's where you see where you got to wear your neck brace because you're going to get whiplash. With those up and down moves. They
Yeah.
can be profitable, especially if you're the guru with 2,000 sheep behind you buying something. There's some profit in that. But as far as being the average folk, it's a tough space. That's a tough space to make money in. And that's why I tend to try to react more than predict. The longer I've traded, reacting to price action versus trying to predict it coming in. There's something to be said for that.
Yeah. All I need is a 2,000 person chat room, and I think I'd be good. That would be,
I know.
I'd be on
I
a
know.
beach.
As they are. Coin losses are the biggest obstacles to success. Learning how to lose small, yeah, dude, it's tough. It's so much easier said than done. I said earlier in the chat, I was like, everybody's gonna lose. You gotta accept that as part of the process. But you don't. But not everyone has to take big losses. Big losses you do not have to take. Try to reiterate that to myself, Kevin. You do not have to take a big loss today.
What Coin said there about percentage loss is he just uses an invalidation, and that's basically how I trade.
Yeah.
I don't typically like say I'm gonna risk $200 or I'm gonna risk 1%. It's more like once I see the trade, unless I'm oversized. Obviously, if I'm oversized, I need to stop out. But if it's something manageable and I'm seeing it's just not working, the trade idea is wrong. That's when it's like I need to get out. It's not so much I stop out at high a day. It's is the trade wrong?
Yeah.
Versus
That's a point. I think I've obsessed over stopping out well so much that I would lean more into like it's going to be high a day because I'm placing that order right now, rather than
that's fine.
Invalidation may be more of a mental stop, right? Is it working out? No. Is it? And you have to be fairly disciplined with that. Probably Coin's more disciplined than I am. And that makes sense. I definitely get that. That is definitely the right approach and the way to go. More so the invalidation versus a specific level or L?
Well, everybody's different, and having a hard stop at high a day or right above high a day, that's where everyone else's stops probably are too. But it's okay if you're taking a minimal loss and you're moving on, and your next trade's green and you get green on the day. It's not the end of the world. Um, I sometimes would put my stop a little past high a day, like okay, it's gonna blow through high a day and go an extra 5 cents. So I'm gonna go like 10, 15 cents above high a
Yeah,
day.
yeah.
I'd still get stopped out. So like
At high day.
what you're doing at high a day is fine, especially if you can build consistency and you're gonna grow your account. Like what works is work. What works works.
When in doubt, get out.
But then,
Yeah.
but when you're trying to find those true patterns, it's like what he was saying with the invalidation is like once you see it, okay, this is definitely not doing not so much the dollar amount or the percentage amount. It's like I think I'm wrong. Like I gotta get out. But sometimes I have too much size on, and it's like, oh yeah, I need to get out, or should have been out a while ago, or or like, man, I wish I wasn't. I did wish I didn't have so much size on. I could have gave this a little bit more room, and it would have worked.
One thing I'm
So
curious
sizing is huge.
Yes, yes. I'm curious, Coin, if you do this. Something that I definitely notice with my trading that helps. It definitely alleviates some of the pressure. Is focusing on multiple trades, not one. When I'm in 3, 4, 5 trades, I tend to not tunnel in and marry one ticker. Like for instance, Kevon, if your scanner alerts you 3 or 4 trades, like are you okay taking all of those and then just if one's not working, taking what Coin just said with the invalidation approach and saying, well, I'm green like $100 here, $100 there, I'm red $50 there. Let me just take the red one off. It's not working. Like I'm not so dependent and needy and looking. We place like an insubordinate amount of like focus and risk on each individual tick, uptick, downtick on a ticker when it's like we're only in this one trade. It has to work. I'm just staring at every green and red candlestick that's happening. I don't know. One thing that's helped me out is that trying to focus on 3, 4 trades at once, if you can. Like if the signals present themselves and you take them.
Yeah. So like, my scanner will start going off. And I look at each one. I try to decide which one looks the best, or if it's more than one, I will take more than one. Um, I think the issue I run into is like what you were kind of saying is like you want to make the best of it. It's like this could be the one for the day. What if I don't get any more alerts the rest of the day? Like, so I put too much emphasis on this has to be the one versus like if you knew your scanner was going to go off all day and you're going to have 10 opportunities to find a good trade, I'd probably be like, I'm going to wait for it. But that FOMO gets to you, and I still get it. It's like, I got it yesterday because I had an all green week. And yesterday I'm like, I want to be green early and be gone. And I got into those 2 trades within like 10 minutes, and I battled them all day. And my scanner didn't even go off the whole freaking day, so it was a terrible day. And I tried to force something out of nothing. But yeah, I'll take 2 or 3 at once, depending on how fast they're moving. And I can,
Do you find that you think more objectively when you're in a couple of them versus one? I definitely see that in myself. I don't know, and it's probably a flaw with me. When I'm just in one, and I'm like, you probably noticed on Monday or Tuesday being in the live stream, like I was in one of the lower float plays. I'm like, I gotta look at something else because I'm gonna start flipping through tickers. I'm gonna try to get involved with something else. This is way too much focus on this one trade.
The issue I run into is, okay, you're in 2 trades. One's working and one isn't. Sometimes
That is.
I think we might be buffering on YouTube right now.
Yeah, I got a red bar, yellow bar, green bar, yellow
Oh,
bar.
there it goes.
Okay,
Anyway,
it's
so
bouncing around.
when I'm in more than one at a time, they mess with me because I'm looking at it and I'm like, okay, this one's gonna be my winner, and this one might be my loser, and then all of a sudden they swap, and the other one starts becoming the winner. And sometimes they mess with me. That's when you just put in your hard stops and just let them do their thing.
Yeah, yeah, yep. I agree. The hard stops. Coin brought that up to bracket orders, which I always use the OCO brackets. Work in multiples. I always put in the OCO immediately. One cancels the other, and
I liked how you were putting multiple trades on the other day, but at the same time, what would suck is if like 3 out of 4 were red, and it's like, oh,
maxed out on
down
the day.
$100.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that has happened. But try to take the signal.
That's the problem. It's like, okay, I got a few good looking trades. I put them all on, and when you're trying to build an account, if they all end up being losers, it's a big hit. We suck.
And we've talked about this before. I cannot stand the mindset of I don't know. I just have a lack of respect for those that hit home. It's just a home run trader. Let's just put it that way. Great, congratulations. I'm happy you found success on one trade, but I'm more interested in consistency over 1,000 trades when you have the probabilities in your favor. You're the house. That I have such high respect for that as a trader versus I had 10 trades. 8 were red, 1 was barely green, and 1 I smacked a home run on. Because I know, go ahead.
I agree completely. Like, a lot of traders, they're not home run traders. They're just consistent. They have their average days, and like they're not really having huge 10x and stuff. They're just grinding. And I have some reversal trades once in a while, not often. They drop or go up really quick, like boom, like all of a sudden the bids just disappear. It's the squeeze up. I see it, I hit it, and you get this drop that you were going to hopefully get within like 15-20 minutes in one candle. But it's not really. It's just it was your profit goal, just a lot quicker. It wasn't like
Right.
10x what I would have made or anything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see that happening with the type of trading I do. But if you, that's why I keep looking at those IPOs, because I want to be like other people where they buy the IPO and the thing just triples within 10 minutes and it keeps halting and gapping up and halting and gapping up. But
That's amazing.
I
You'll be
tried
a home
one
run trader.
yesterday. I think I did 50 shares of that one yesterday, and I was so nervous. And I took like a $17 loss, and I was pissed.
Well, you're nervous
No.
because you're nervous because it's against your system and a gambling trade, but that's why you size
Yeah.
down on it. I mean, but 50 shares on
Yeah.
if this thing just halts up 3 times and goes up $15, I mean that's a lot of money.
Right. It could have worked, but it just wasn't it's not my niche, and like that's me seeing other traders succeed at it and being like, oh, I want to try it. And yeah, I didn't lose a lot of money or anything, but it was a waste.
Okay, well,
I'll probably
speaking
not
of
make
home run
1,000.
trades, Kayvon, I want to ask you, what is your most memorable home run trade? No, what's your most memorable winning trade?
You were going out a little bit there. My most memorable home run trade?
Yeah, it was just a
Is
win.
that what you said?
Yeah.
Dude, you want luck or skill?
Oh, let's go luck.
Okay, so can't remember what the ticker was. I had so many brokerage accounts. I think it was with Options Express. I was bag holding somebody. Uh, I don't remember the price. I think it was down like $1. I had like 1,000 shares, and they got bought out by Black and Decker.
Oh my God, that rings a bell, but I don't remember the ticker either. That was probably what 4 or 5 years ago.
It was no, it was much longer than that.
No,
It was probably
never mind. That's the alcohol
12
talking
years
to me.
ago. It was a while ago.
I wasn't around.
So they got bought out for like $5 or $6 a share. I think I made like 5 or 6 grand overnight, but I didn't know. Like it was a buyout, so I logged into my account and I was like, "What the?"
And that's when the addiction started.
No, it started before that. That just helped fund that just helped fund the addiction. So it gaps up, and I don't even remember. I think I sold half, thinking, "Oh, it might keep going." I was like still kind of figuring things out. This was probably 15 years
You
ago.
greedy bastard.
I was like, "Oh, it might keep going." But since it was a buyout, when a buyout happens, they don't even move; they just flatline.
Right.
But I sold half, and then I realized it wasn't doing anything, so I sold the other half, and I was like, I made $5 grand today, and that funded some trading, which disappeared.
Into thin air.
So
Okay, so now let's go to the skill base. So your best lucky trade 5,000 to 6,000, holding a little swing overnight. You had no clue Black and Decker was going to buy them out. Hey, there you go, 5,000 6,000. That's why you bag hold.
And that's never really having that big of an account. So like that was big. And skill based, I have no home runs.
Skill based, I have no skill based big winners.
It's a base hit thing. Like I could show you like screenshots of my day of like 10 different wins for like $1,200 or something.
Yeah.
It's a good day, lots of opportunities, $1,000 days.
So the skill based days are, but that makes sense. You're not going for home runs unless you like leave. The only home runs we'd have that I talk about are as if you leave like leftovers to work and they really work out very well. But that makes sense that you're not going to have a huge home run winning day. I mean, because you have profit targets set, risk set, profit target set.
If I left something on longer, which I have before, I've left trades on and I've tried to ride them out for a couple hours. It's not going to be a home run dollar-wise. It'll be a home run like, oh, I made instead of $2 a share, I made $5 a share.
Yeah.
But I don't have enough size on. It's not like I have 1,000, 2,000 shares on to where I'm making thousands of dollars. It might be an extra $200 or something. So like, my home run days are just like stress-free, hit the alerts, take profit, move on, another one comes, take profit, and I get that beautiful day of stress-free. In my opinion, that's worth more than, because as soon as I start battling something, it totally messes with
Dude,
me.
my biggest home run days were when I was definitely an amateur too. Definitely an amateur.
Oh, for sure. When I was risking it, I would have far bigger trades, but I was also risking the entire account.
Oh yeah, I definitely blew that up.
I could easily. I sent you that screenshot last Friday with that $17,000 loss. Remember? But it was paper trading.
Oh yeah.
I decided to put on some SPY puts right for end of day expiration, just as a joke, to see if the SPY dumped last Friday. And obviously they didn't work, but I sent you that screenshot and you were like, what did you do? And I was like, luckily it's paper trading.
Well, I don't
But
really. Yeah, I definitely believe that you're disciplined enough not to do something like that.
yeah, I'm not gonna risk my capital. Like
The 25
that's one of the
thousand you're
main
going to
reasons.
stay above, but you'll risk. I do believe you'll risk down to that nearly.
So yeah, I did it last year. Like I got below 25, so then I refunded it with like 3 grand because I'm not going to. First of all, you can't day trade it, and second of all, I'm not going to deplete my my larger chunk of cash. Um, it's just not in the cards. If I wanted to, I could easily be putting trades on where I can make two, three, four, $5,000, but those trades could be losing one, two, $3,000, and I'm not in that situation. Um, do the goal is to grow the account so that you can start putting on. You could let that money work and try those other trades that you
Oh,
can.
you want to branch out? You think into a few different edges?
I well, I mean, I told you there's other trades that I do. They're just not my edge. Um,
IPO.
like no, definitely not IPOs. Um, that's the thing is it's not. If I was to tell you what a trade was, I wouldn't be able to explain it like I can explain my reversal trade. My reversal trade, we'll get some screenshots when they happen, and we'll share them. You can see them versus like me reading the tape on some ticker and trading it and scalping it for like X amount. Like I could do that too. I could see I
Yeah,
could see the
coin,
tape and make
GME,
some
AMC.
trades. Yeah. But
No.
until my account grows, I don't want to venture off from my edge too much.
Right.
But once you have that cushion, then you can kind of be like, oh, this IPO is going crazy. Let me throw $500 in it and see if it doubles. Then it's not the end of the world. But what right now, when $500 is more important, I want to try to stick to my edge. I
Yeah.
like what Mike said there about my home run days are stress-free, disciplined days. In a way, like yeah, that's dead on. If I could just have, there's nothing like a stress-free, disciplined day. You finish, you go get lunch, get out on the motorcycle. There's nothing better. So that's a home run day for me, even if it's $200. So yeah, I. That's the thing is like I see traders that they hit this IPO and they make like 5 grand. It's like, oh, wish I could do that, but it's just not me.
Yeah, you guys throw out some questions. We've been rambling on for a while. Mr. Bob, I feel like overtrading is harmful to how I trade. I wait for A plus setups, and those only show up a few times a day sometimes. Yeah, absolutely. That is right on. Um, speak on.
So what
Speak.
I would
Go ahead.
go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, speak on like what for a newer trader, Kayvon. What is something you see them? What is a flaw you see them that they struggle with often that you think they should take care of as quickly as possible, like newer traders?
I don't know if I see it, but I'm trying to think. Okay, for a new trader, I guess we have to define new, but like you
Under a
basically
year,
have to
yeah,
fund your account. Huh?
under a year.
You basically have to fund your account knowing you're probably going to lose it. you need to understand that that is you're paying for your education, most likely. Um, Unless you could trade so small that you don't put in that big of a dent in your account, that way you'll be able to learn. But like, I don't see a new trader being able to take a $500 account and grow it without being super risky and trading the crazy low float stuff. Now, that's what I would do. If I wanted to take $1,000 account, I'd probably do some riskier things, and if I blow it up, I'd blow it up. But that's the way I would get it to 3, 4, 5 grand, and then I could start having like $100 days, $200 days. But like, to have $200 days with $1,000 account, it takes a lot of experience. Um, it's so hard to.
You got to learn
Don't
how to
know if
lose.
there's something.
Coin just pointed out perfectly. You got to learn how to lose, and then you got to keep learning how to lose.
Yeah.
I brought that up many times, many times. You guys probably don't want to hear those analogies, but you got to learn how to lose in order to learn how to win.
I see his question here about the prop firm. So, the prop firm that I worked at, I wouldn't even call it work because you weren't paid. There was two. There was two divisions of this prop firm. It was the real prop firm with the millionaire traders, and then they had this other department of the new enrollees that if you proved yourself and you grew and you start with 5 shares, and you were allowed to trade anything stocks wise. You had to have 8 out of 10 green days. You were green 8 out of 10 green days, it would double your size to 10 shares. And if you were green and it would sometimes it'd take you a month or two, and then eventually you'd get those 8 out of 10 green days, and they double you to 20 shares. Or if they see you screwing up, they might size you back down. And every day you had to send them an email of what your trades were, what you did right, what you did wrong. But it was so difficult for me. I was paying to commute. I wasn't making any money because there's no salary or anything. You would only make money if you succeeded at trading. And it was like, I was trying to, when I started with 5 shares, I was trying to, some days I would have like $30 days, which is, in my opinion, that's really good for only having 5 shares max size. I was trying to make an income with super small shares. And I think by the time that I left there, I was at like 250 shares. And I was still, this was 2012, 13 years ago. I was still messed up mindset wise, of just pushing. Like, okay, I'm at 250 shares. I should be making 2,000 a day, or just far more than what you should be making with a max size of 250 days. And like, so I would have blow up days, and I just wasn't consistent. I was always pushing for more, trying to get to that level of what the pros were at, even though I was only at 250 shares. And the pros, the guys sitting right next to you, have 10 million in their account. And you're just like, that's what I want to do. So I'm like, stupid me. I'm just like trying to be like them with a much smaller account. But it was a good experience to get a lot of experience in. It was I was able to put a lot of trades on, thousands of trades. I was there for like a year and a half. And it was just good experience. The problem with that prop firm is like, it kind of just put you there to learn on your own. They didn't teach you strategies. You didn't really talk to any of the successful traders. It was just like, here's a computer, figure it out. So it was a very slow process, but I enjoyed it.
Yeah, thanks for diving deep into that. 2012, man, aging yourself a little bit there.
Yeah, it it's been a long ride. Like I come and go. Lately, it's been more full time. The last few years, I've been around pretty much daily, but fund an account with a couple grand. I'm in there for a few months. I blow it up, save up some more money. New Year comes around, you fund a new account, and so I've been doing this for 20 years, but cumulatively, I'd say closer to 10. Um, Half the time I wasn't trading. I've been addicted to it for a long time.
The addiction. The addiction is real.
Yeah. I, I just know, you see these people that succeed at all types of things, and they say that they never quit. They continue to push,
Yeah.
and everybody figures things out at different paces, and I'm just a slow learner.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
I mean, I feel like I'm getting there, but I'm still learning stuff every day. Just when you think things are going well, the market humbles you. I'm sure everybody knows. You're like, I could do no wrong. Green trade, green trade, green trade.
Do you think that, look, this is a weird question. I wasn't really prepared to ask this. Does trading impact your life outside of, like, if you have a red day, is that going to impact your mood the rest of the day? If you have a green day?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Without
100%.
hesitation, Kayvon's like, oh my god, my wife and dog don't even want to
Well,
hear the end of it if I have a red day.
when I'm trading correctly, it doesn't. So like, I follow my trading plan. I take some losses. I have a reasonable small red day. Not the end of the world. It doesn't affect me. It's when I fight something. I fight something. I fight something. I take
You're
the
breaking
the
your
shitty
rules.
loss.
You're just disappointing
Yep.
yourself.
That's when it ruins the evening. Not terribly, but it's like you could tell. Um, Absolutely.
Yeah,
Um,
dude, you gotta. I think we know each other's flaws. I mean, you gotta maximize your winners and be disciplined with the losers. I mean, that's pretty much it. Outside of that, you're fine.
yeah, I think if I can dial in, there's a lot of times where I catch the meat of the move. Like the move is this much, and I get three quarters of it. That happens a good amount of time. But there are definitely times when I'm super sad that I'm still not in it, and I'm just like, I shorted the frickin' top, and this thing's been fading all day. So that would be nice. Um, Maybe when the account grows, it's like okay, we could let a little bit work. But when you're in account growing mode, for me, I feel like okay, let's just lock it in. Let's just lock it in. But hindsight, if I'm gonna take shitty losses because I break my rules, taking my profits too quickly is going to put me break even. So it's like, okay, if I'm gonna hold my loser extra long, I gotta try and hold my winner extra long. But
Yes,
the
you
ultimate
should.
goal
You
is
definitely should.
cut the loser and obviously hold the
Quicker
winner.
with the
That's the
loser
ultimate goal.
cut and longer with the winner. Um, I agree.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, that sounds great. It's like it's different when you're doing it, but if you can improve a little bit every day at doing that, you will get better at it.
so as we're like an hour and a half in or so, I mean, you've been trained for so long. I mean, for those newer, like, what's always been the lure of trading for you? Why do you think you've been attracted to it? Do you think it's been Like, is it your personality? There's a lot of introverts in trading. I would consider myself one of those. Or just wanting to do my own thing. Like, is that you? Do you want to be self-employed? Do you just want to not have to rely on clocking in, clocking out, having a boss, or do you just love trading? What is it for you?
It's changed throughout the years. I think we're all drawn to it, and the main reason we're all drawn to it is money. I mean, we literally don't provide a service, and obviously you're trying to help people with YouTube, but like, if you're a trader and all you do is trade and you have no online presence whatsoever, what do you offer society? You really don't. It actually is a selfish profession. It's literally just about money. But it has turned into the love of doing it as well. And it would be amazing if you could mentor or help somebody else succeed at it. Like those all, and I do think that's why some of the chat room guys do it, is it does make them feel better if some other people do succeed at it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like, I just remember being 16 and I had an older buddy who made money. He bought something and he made a couple grand, and I was like, what? And that was it. I was like, I want to try that. And then you just get in this rabbit hole of seeing what's possible. And I just saw somebody on Twitter the other day. It was a prop account. It was like a futures prop account, but he said he struggled for, I think it was either 10? It was 10 or maybe more than 10 years. He just recently started succeeding, and he had like $1 million payout or something, or 6 figures. So like, you see stuff like that, and you know it is possible. So that's why I continue to push at it. I see what I'm capable of on good days, and then I know I need to figure out those bad days, and then that's it.
Yeah. Agreed. Coin brought up a good point. It's only selfish if you don't help others with the money you gain tied charity. Help somebody out. Agreed.
Yeah,
entirely.
I agree with that. I agree with that completely, because I did something for somebody last fall, and it was one of the best feelings that I've ever had. And I don't even really have the money to do it, but it was amazing. So if the money was to truly come in, it would just get even better.
If you that's great. If you don't mind me answering my own question, see, my problem is I love trading, regardless of the money, and I have to snap into like an alternate reality of like, Kevin, trade to make money. Don't just trade to be right, because I like that ego boost of feeling like, oh, I'm a winner on the day, versus like, okay, let's go for some actual freaking money. That's why I'm doing this. But yeah, it is weird because you're not you're not rendering services to somebody, like you said. So it's awkward, especially if you come from a past of like, okay, I started, my first job was a busboy, so I was rendering services to somebody, bussing tables for $2.13 an hour.
Yeah. So, the whole thing about loving trading, I have days where I enjoy it when I had a great, smooth, easy day, things went well. Not a big green day, but I'm very happy. Then I have days where I had a very stressful day and I made 5 times as much. I don't feel as good on that day. So in a way, yeah, it's not all about the money. I could have a really big day, but if it's stressful, it's not as enjoyable. So it is nice to like focus on the trading well, and whatever money you get is a byproduct of just trading well and doing
Yes.
what you're supposed to do.
Yes. Trading well. It's a byproduct. Absolutely agree. That's where a lot get it wrong. I wish you were right, Coin. I absolutely wish you were correct with that statement. Uh, no, I need to flip the mindset. No, I just love trading. It's like a video game for me. More of an introvert. I like to say I'm more. I think introverts are gravitate towards this field. I think I am an extrovert, but I'm extroverted towards things that people that I enjoy to be around that are in the same space. That bring peace and excitement and that sort of a thing. But I've worked the 9 to 5. I've done all that, and it's awful. It's like it is so awful for me because I've spent so many years in this space, and then I've spent some years in that 9 to 5 space, and it's trying to tame a lion that's been out in the wild. It's so awful when you've had the freedom, to do your own thing. Most of my career spent unemployed, self-employed, not unemployed. Oh my god, that's hilarious.
Same thing.
So, same thing. No, that is hilarious.
Oh,
Self-employed.
so
So
I do.
yeah, the 9 to 5 is awful. Having the W-2. I understand. There's a lot of people in the chat who are feeling the same way. They're like, I've spent my life trying to make somebody else money, and I'm tired of that. I'm ready to do my own thing. And that's why I've read like self-employed people do have a higher success rate in this space because they understand what it takes, the overhead, the vigilance. There's so many attributes that it takes to find success in this space.
I would say if you have a good job or any job, continue to do it while you learn to trade. I would think that's a no-brainer. Don't think you're going to be able to quit your job and pay your bills.
That's not
if
what
you
people
can
want to hear,
fund your
Kayvon.
trading,
Tell them what they want to hear. Come on. Tell them what they want to hear.
But the thing is, you could be somebody making $100,000 a year, and you're trying to get into trading, and you just keep blowing up because you got that extra money coming in because you make good money.
Yeah,
you're never
gonna make $100K a year starting out. It ain't gonna
No,
happen.
I'm saying people with a career. They might have that money coming in to fund an account, and they just keep blowing it up because they're loose with their money because they have a really good they have a really good job. But that could actually hurt you. So it's like, okay, you need a job to fund your trading, but if you have a really good job and you're making good money, if you're not taking trading seriously, which I've done many times, you're just going to keep blowing up and blowing up and blowing up. So
yes.
I have a part-time job. I do HVAC I install residential HVAC, and it's actually really fulfilling. I enjoy doing it, but some days I'm there doing it, and I know what I'm gonna make for the day, and I'm like, that's one trade, that's 2 trades. I could easily make this at home. But I do get a little bit of fulfillment out of that job. You're helping somebody whose AC broke, and they're grateful. I don't know. I don't know if I would.
Would you completely toss it aside if you were successful with trading? You're like, I ain't helping anybody else. Then my next door neighbor, she's about to croak and
I don't know. I'd probably
sweating 100 degrees in her house, and you're like, F you. I ain't coming over there, Granny. I'm trading over here. You suffer.
Yeah, I don't do that anymore because my neighbors know that I do it, and one day they're gonna call me, and I'm gonna be like, So, I have a buddy who owns an HVAC company, so I get a lot of installs through him, and I don't know. It's just fun. Sometimes it's fun because I'm self-employed because it's a 1099. It's just a subcontractor. So it's like sometimes it's just nice to get out of the house, make that little commute, and like, you're making guaranteed money. The market will be open tomorrow. Sometimes it's kind of nice to just go do it and get that guaranteed paycheck versus.
Yeah.
I can't tell you how many times I've turned down a job and then I trade and then I end up red on the day. I probably should have went to work today.
Yeah. We feel like nearly probably would have been red anyways. That's how it was the last couple of days for me. I'm like, it was very busy with the kids are on spring break.
You were green Monday though, weren't you?
I think I was green Monday, Tuesday. Yeah, then gone Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, green Monday, Tuesday. But that's what I'm saying. It's like I would have forced the issue Wednesday, Thursday, probably regardless, and probably would have been red anyways.
It's tough taking a forced day off. Like, it's out of your control. Like, I wish I could go trade. Family's in town, but I guess I'm not trading today.
Yeah, and I think it's mainly to just wanting to help, some of the newer guys that are in there too that are mainly kind of looking for some guidance and whatnot. Don't want to let them
down. I'll be honest. When you were gone, it was kind of like I wish the chat was open. Like it was I was kind of missing it. Like I wish it was there. So.
Okay, we'll figure that out. We'll start a Discord maybe like you said, so at least if I'm out, you're in there to moderate.
Yeah.
Something of that effect. So we make sure she's a smooth engine.
Yeah. It sounds good. It had a pretty good turnout. There was a good amount of people watching, I think.
Good Friday. Pretty decent turnout.
Coin seems to be taking up the chat mostly. He's kind of hogging it a little bit.
Hogging it. Coin it. We're going to all hang out because you both are in Chicago. So if I may come down this summer and we'll get together.
I'm in the west suburbs. Northwest suburb. Oh, man.
That'd be a good time.
Yeah, that was a good chat. We'll have to, it'd be nice if, in the coming weeks, if we could actually get some good arts and some good trades to share. That would be a good start showing what I look for. That's hilarious. I live in Elgin. He lives in South Elgin. Outside.
See, what do you live in? Middle Elgin?
Well, South Elgin's the name of the town.
Oh, okay.
And Elgin is the name of the other town.
Ah, sweet. Dude, that'll be fun.
My siblings live in South Elgin, so it's hilarious.
Yeah, you guys are minutes away from each other.
What kind of car do you drive? I'll keep a lookout for you. Keep an eye out for me on Randall Road on my motorcycle.
Y'all probably flicked each other off on the road before. You live so close.
That's funny.
Yeah, Coin's been around forever, man. I mean, we used to pretty much do what I'm doing now, with the chat 5, 6, 7 years ago, and he's been doing his thing forever. Got a little. You still renting your studio, Coin? He's got a trading studio. I'll formally invite Kayvon and I over to it, and uninvited, we can come hang out.
Yeah, I'm down. I used to always text my wife. Like, she's at work and I'm having a bad day. I start bugging her about a trade. And it's the last thing she wants, you know? Or like I think
Let me
I
guess.
think
Let
she
me
gets
guess.
home from.
She's had a tough day and she wants to vent to you, and you're like, but you're venting to her.
No, it's not that. It's more like I have no idea what you're talking about, and I don't really care. Um, so it is nice to like be able to talk to other traders daily,
Yes,
so that you're not bugging somebody who has no idea what it's like.
I know. You guys could do that too. You and Coin. I'd be jealous. I want to join you guys. That'd be so much fun. They don't understand the frustration. Coin's wife's
You
the same way.
you have any of Coin's info that you could text me?
Oh yeah, dude, I got it. I got his social security, address, everything. I'll send it to you. Nah. If Coin's okay, yeah, I could send you his number if he's okay with that. You let me know, Coin. I think I got your number somewhere in here. I got it as Coin. I can broadcast it live. No, yeah. You guys are y'all are pretty much the same wavelength, man.
Funny. The question is there any craft beer drinkers in the chat?
Send it. All right.
This is what we had. This is what we had tonight. Bourbon County.
Bourbon County. I got your message,
I really
Coin.
don't. I'm not. I'm really not that into craft beer anymore, though. But I haven't been up this late in I don't know how long.
You don't even have kids. Why are you? You're an old man. What's going on?
I'm an old man. I 10:30 is my bedtime.
All right, y'all are gonna hook up, making me jealous. Let me know some dates this summer. We'll come. We'll go hang out.
Coin's not a girl, right? Because that's not gonna fly.
I don't know what pronouns he or she goes by. You let us know, Coin.
Yeah, if you're a girl,
I go by
Yeah.
Bull.
you can have.
I go by Bear. I know. I'm like, why do I have a bear behind or bull behind me? I'm never bullish. I need to like turn that bull into some kind of. Anyways, I'm getting too political in here.
What we got right there?
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm a toxic masculine man. Yeah, Coin's the man, dude. He's the man.
well, hopefully we can have a good week.
Dude,
Some activity get some activity
Yeah.
in the chat and some good opportunities. The market has just been dead.
yeah.
Um,
Next week she's going. Oh God. Thoughts. Evil thoughts. I'm
If-
sorry.
if
I'm
we-
sorry. Next week the market's going to resurrect.
I mean, you're small caps, so it could be very well alive. But what I'm trading, it's just been so slow. That we need to pick a direction and just go. It seems like any type of strength gets sold into the last week or so after the initial crash.
Yeah, until it
Everybody's-
doesn't. Until Trump tweets something, then you go up 20 points in a matter of minutes. I hadn't seen.
The thing
That's
is,
one thing I have. That's one thing in 10 years I hadn't seen. When we saw that, I mean, I vividly remember last week seeing that. You remember the SPY? It dropped like a point or two, and then just shot up 20 points.
Right. So, like, typically when you get a headline, you're going to get both directions. Because the algos, I forget what the headline was at one point last week, but the first part of the headline was China tariffs. So it was negative, so it had the quick drop. But the second part of the headline was positive, and it soaked it right back up. You always get these massive algo moves, and it's not fun, especially when you're in a large cap. All of a sudden, the thing's going. It's such a pain in the ass.
Yeah, trying to figure out what the algos are going to do.
But I don't know. We can just take it one day at a time, give what the market gives you, and you go from there. It could be slow. I mean, this was a slow week, and I was green every day. Break even on Thursday. So like I'm not complaining, but a busier week should give me more opportunities. But more opportunities give me more opportunity to screw up. So maybe a slow market's better for me.
Maybe it is. Dude, your bull's dead back there. You need an alive bear or bull, rather.
A live bull?
Yeah.
about
We need to
that.
trade with some like live bulls and bears behind us. Dude, can you imagine how many people we would accrue in our live streams if we had a freaking live bear in the background? Forget girls in bikinis. I mean, throw
I
a
can
bear
get a
behind.
costume for my wife, and she could crawl around the floor back there in a bear outfit.
Yeah, get your wife in a bear bikini costume behind you. Yeah, there you go. You're on to something.
Yeah. Don't even get me started. Fucking OnlyFans. Ugh. It's so ridiculous how easy it is for some people to make this money doing gross stuff. You hear
Only stocks.
only stocks. There you go. The female trading people on YouTube get far more subscribers and views. It's ridiculous.
I haven't looked, but I can imagine. I mean, all you gotta do is throw them out there, throw the girls out there. Then
Female traders can be really good. I don't know why, because they're more emotional, but
You think? Yeah, I truly believe some of the ladies out there could be like very good traders.
yeah. It supposedly the statistics are that they are because of something, but they're more emotional, so I don't understand how they are. Some random's texting me right now.
Coin.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, we're ending on a very political note right there. Keith is going. Well, dude, there was the vaginal tickers that were moving a few weeks ago, so I was trading those. They're working out all right. Keith is going to scalp some condom stocks. Gotta be going up all the time.
You're really good at remembering tickers, man. I'm terrible at it. I can't remember.
Oh, I'm good because of the pain involved in them.
I think I'm just so good at not even. I don't care what the ticker is. I'm just looking at the chart, so I don't even remember them the same day.
Yeah.
But yeah, like I forget tickers instantly. Like literally, even while I'm still in it. Sometimes I'll be in a trade and I'll leave the house. I'll go do something in my car and I'll just.
You're like, what the hell was I trading earlier?
I'm like, wait, what is the ticker that I'm
No,
doing?
I
So
do
can
the
look it
same
up.
thing, and that's why you should never tunnel in on a ticker. I like literally that goes through my mind. The same thing you're saying. I will be so focused in on one ticker, and then a few hours later, I'm driving out wherever to go somewhere. I'm like, what the hell was I trading? I don't even remember the ticker. So why did I put so much emphasis on it? You think the same thing?
Yeah, for sure.
PTON, biggest pain trade to this day. All right. Should I look it up?
Was he short? He got squeezed?
PTON. Yeah, PTON I'm pretty sure is probably some
I think it dumped eventually, but it was I
It,
think it had a big
it
squeeze
rings a
at the
bell.
end.
Probably some low float thing that Coin never
No,
trades
It's
anymore.
Peloton. It's Peloton.
Oh yeah, Pete Peloton. Yep, yep, that's right. I'm looking it
Give
up
me a
right now.
ticker, man. I'll give you the company name like that. I'm like Kramer. Inverse
PT
Kramer.
PTON. Huh. Trying to predict. I don't know if you guys can see my chart. Trying to predict. I don't think you do. Where did Coin get involved with this at? Peloton. Probably bought it at 25.13, which is the 3-year high. I'm messing with you, Coin. What do you do? Buy it high, sell it low? Yeah, I was long at support, and it put in a bearish engulfing outside bar, blew me out just to come back 6 years later. Okay, so I mean, you stopped out well, but the fact that it came back
You should have
around
held it.
6 hours later for a new high,
I I, I would have held it.
yeah, Kayvon would have been fighting that one all day.
Uh, Probably.
That's
I don't
tough.
long at support though. So I
Oh,
wouldn't
there's
have
so
been in.
many. There's so many painful stops. Like I wish I had that. I wish I could erase my memory with certain tickers because they are engulfed. They're like imprinted in my memory bank. I wish I could just get rid of them. There's so many tickers where I took the very bottom, not the bottom intraday came on, the bottom, the whole bottom,
Yeah.
the literal bottom
I
of all
wish.
time,
I
and the
wish I
top
would
of
have.
all time.
I wish I would have saved stuff like screenshots and stuff throughout the years. It would have. I feel like I'm past that, so I don't do it anymore. But it kind of would have been nice to pull up some of that stuff. Um,
Revisit the pain.
well, learn from like help other people learn from it, or just refresh your memory. Sometimes is nice.
Right. Yeah.
It's like my main issues. I do them over and over. It's not like I fail at new things. It's typically the same thing, just repeated.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yeah. I'm not seeing like new things that are
May
like, oh,
2nd.
that's what
Okay.
got me. I've never seen that before. It's more of like I know exactly what I'm doing. I'm just being a freaking idiot.
May 2nd of 24. I'm looking Coin. May 2nd.
Are you able to do the rewind thing on Thinkorswim, like to replay the days?
I don't know. I'm not sure if I can, but I
Thought
see
they
which day he's talking about. It's
I thought they were able to. That was a feature that they used to have where you could turn your Thinkorswim on, and it'll start it'll look like the market's open, and you could
that's pretty
replay
cool.
a day. Yeah, you can totally
It's
practice
recording every
trading
single day.
for that stuff.
Well, Coin, just know you're not alone in that pain. I wish you were. But yeah, many, many a days here. I'm sure Kayvon has as well.
I can't remember the last. Like he's remembering a day from almost a year ago. Like I can't even remember Tuesday.
So Kayvon's memory is very good, but it's just very short. What I'm gathering.
I don't know what my I they're just tickers. Like move, I just move on.
Do you
I don't
really?
know.
Do you really?
You like unless I'm pissed off and I come back the next day and I lose more,
Yeah.
then hopefully it's Friday and then I get a couple days off and then I'm fine. But if that's like a Tuesday, probably gonna be a bad week.
Yeah. Coin, thanks for joining in and chiming
Yeah, it
in.
was
Chiming
fun.
in a lot, man.
We'll have to come up with some more structured questions and stuff for the future. If anybody ever has questions, put them in the comments and stuff, and we could always
Thanks.
answer them in the next one.
Trying to say I wasn't prepped enough. Is that what you're saying?
No, I mean, it was fun just to chat. We didn't really have much to share trade-wise because the week was kind of slow. But
Yeah. Well, I think this week's gonna be pretty good. Fingers crossed. We'll let's just share a lot of screenshot a lot of charts. We'll go over next Friday. We'll go over them.
Did anybody send you any charts that worth sharing? Like, did you get anything to study?
Oh, I don't know. Let me look. Probably not.
If it doesn't show their entries and exits, though, it makes it a little trickier.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not seeing it. And a lot of them are at C Pro, which it says they'll show the trades, but you're not seeing them yet, so it's a little error going on there right now.
Yeah. Well, I know with DOS, like I had to add that on there. It's an option, but you have to like go in the settings and put it in.
Yeah, they have it. It's like show the orders and positions, but you're not seeing them. So I don't know. But yeah, anybody got anything else before we wrap it up? We've been going. What do we start at? 9:30ish. So hour and a half here. Pretty good live stream. We've gone over a lot, talked about a lot.
I'm ready to go all night, man. I'll get the coffee going soon. Be a good night.
You're ready to trade tomorrow, aren't you?
Yeah, let's turn some machines on. Let's start trading. Is there anything open? That's one thing I haven't touched is I haven't tried to trade crypto. Just haven't found a need to.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah, I think it's against our nature, being contrarian traders.
I haven't tried futures either because I don't know.
We hate
sometimes.
we hate following the trend. That's what it is.
Seriously, you catch a trend in the futures and you could just ride it all day though. You've seen what the market does with the algo trends all day. So like
Yeah.
I have been tempted to do it. I'm not going to.
Discipline at its finest.
When there's people though that have failed at trading stocks and they switch to futures and they succeed because they're more technical. The futures trade on a very technical basis.
Dude.
They break the flags, they break these trends and they go.
I've put over 10 years into equities. I can't put another 10 years in something else.
That's kind of how I feel. It's like I don't know if I could make the switch. If you were doing it simultaneously and you're just trying to tinker with it, you never know. But for now, yeah, I haven't touched it.
Yeah. All right, man. Any questions in the chat before we wrap it up for the night? And thank you, Kayvon, for doing this.
Yeah, no problem. I'd like to see this turn into something where we can get, a good amount of people getting together and talking about stuff because
Yeah.
trading is a very lonely profession if you're doing it from home, which most of us are.
How do you separate trading, you think, from your personal life and this weekend coming up? How do you do that?
I don't talk to my family about it pretty much at all. Because because they just don't get it.
Yeah, it's just an uphill
Um,
thing.
the only way it affects me is sometimes it affects my mood. Um,
If you're red.
I try to, yeah, and I'll probably be in a better mood if I had a good week too. I do have my brother-in-law is he's a risk manager for a prop firm, so he's in finance. So that's kind of cool. It's my wife's.
Yeah.
It's my wife's sister's husband. Him and I talk trading all the time, which is cool. But like, whenever we're at their house, that's always nice. But other people, they just don't get it, and there's nothing you can say to make them get it. We're the same height.
Are we the same width?
I don't know. Got 8 years on you, I think. So.
Oh man. Yeah, the getting it. Yeah, yeah, that makes sense. It's tough. That's tough.
We got the Redhead 6 Foot Club.
6 foot tall, 6 inch wide. What else we got?
I just want your hairline. That's all I want, and I'd be set.
I'll probably lose it before too long. Just
no, you're 30.
31 in a week or two, coming up here.
Yeah, you're doing pretty good then, because it looks like a solid hairline.
I mean, there's always implants.
Dude, I have looked at going to Turkey, so don't even joke.
Just for Kayvon, just for men.
Anybody got any questions? We still got a few people in here. Otherwise, that's my bedtime.
Yeah. Falling asleep here as well. Yeah, it's been a good night. We went over a lot.
Yeah.
I think some guys are going to watch this back. Some guys are going to watch this back and get a good idea of how you trade, what you're looking for, and I think that'll be helpful for the chat room in the mornings for sure.
I definitely want to try to get it on I want to try to screenshot that though to make it more visual, because I tried to explain it, but once you see it, it becomes a little bit more easy to understand. But
I just now noticed your candle in the background there. You're making this all romantic. I like it.
Yeah. Well, I thought I needed more light, so I turned on.
Thought you needed more light, so I'll just throw on this little candle in the background. How about I just now notice that?
I'm not a YouTuber, so I don't have the ring light set up and stuff. Luckily, I have a little overhead light here, so it would have been dark.
Yeah, man. Is the market open Monday? Let's go. Friday being closed. Shoo. Yeah, we'll get it. We'll get it Monday morning, man. We're gonna have a good week. We're gonna stay disciplined, focused.
I like to start Mondays slow. You got the whole week.
I have noticed that. Yeah.
I have found that sometimes you get that FOMO. A lot of times the weekends screw me up. I get a good week going, and then all of a sudden the weekend happens, and Monday, I don't know, something happens.
I know. I try to be like so much more introspective because I'm eager to jump into something, but then I try to suppress that. And then sometimes it's like, well, I should have jumped into so-and-so. You know, that was a good signal. So there's like a lot of weird things going on.
I I don't get too upset about missed trades because there was always going to be another one.
Oh.
I get more upset of when I take a loss or I'm in a bad trade because I didn't wait patiently for the right trade. Like, if I miss one and it was perfect, I'm like, shit. And then I move on. But when I get into one because of poor discipline, that's far worse. So, like, I'm okay if the market opens and a couple things are looking good and I wait. And even though they reverse, I'm okay. I'll wait for something else. Versus putting something on as soon as the market opens on Monday and you find yourself you're in a red trade to start the week and it's like, oh God, here we go. I like to start Mondays
Here we go.
slow.
Yeah. No, I get that entirely. Well, that's what we'll focus on Monday.
Yeah.
Starting slow.
All right.
Yep. Thanks, man. I appreciate the Friday night live stream. Let's we'll figure out what to do from here. I think this is a good start.
Yeah, it was fun. It was good chatting. We could definitely get into some more stuff though.
More depth. I think it was a good introductory kind of video.
I have to rewatch it to see if it was all over the place or if it was.
Is that what you're doing tomorrow? You know, kick back, pop some popcorn.
Maybe.
learn a little something.
Maybe I'll watch it Monday before the bell. That way I don't get into a
Get some
stupid trade.
Get some inspiration from Kayvon trades.
Well, yeah, that was fun, guys.
Yeah, that was fun. Thank you, guys. And for those watching a little bit later on that couldn't tune in, throw down any questions you have in the comments section below, and we'll be happy to address them. But that's going to wrap it up tonight. We went an hour and a half. Good little session there. We went over a lot. Next time, we'll go a little bit more in depth for you guys that just scratched the surface. But any last words? I'll give it to you, Kayvon.
I was just looking for an emoji.
Looking for an emoji. There you go.
There's my last word. There's my last word right there.
Let's word. Get it. Money bag. All right, traders. We will tune in Monday morning. Kayvon's going to be there fresh to give you some alerts. And we'll be there live to get a green day going with the green team. So thank you guys for tuning in. We will